What's up, guys? I am depressed, the Texans fan.
And I'm delusional, the Panthers fan.
Welcome to Football for Fun. We are so glad to have you. This is our second episode, so if you missed the first episode, then feel free to watch it. Link will probably be in the description or something like that. But yeah, Isaac, one episode in the books, we're recording our second just under a week after. How are we feeling about this so far?
Feeling great. This is fun. It's been enjoyable to talk football, of course.
Awesome.
How are you feeling about
Yeah,
it?
no, that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, in case not that it's important, but it actually is actually almost midnight for us. We're normally gonna try to do this over the
Yeah, just so
weekend.
you guys know, we're exhausted, so don't judge us when we say anything dumb.
We are exhausted. Yeah, I had a full day of school, and then I mean, not really, but it's actually been pretty chill. But
You're
it's
not supposed
close
to
to
say that. No,
midnight.
it has not been chill, guys. It's been terrible. We almost died several times, okay?
I know
Give
it's
us a break
brutal,
today.
but we're so dedicated to our fans.
Yes.
We will climb mountains to record. That sounds weird though, but we will move on. But yeah, no, all that to say, it is past midnight, so normally I don't know if you go to bed a bit later, but normally I'm thinking about getting ready for bed, but talking about football's way funner.
No, I'm
So
always up past 2 a.m. It's unhealthy.
yeah. Well, you're not a student and I am, so I kind of
That's
have
true.
to
That's true.
somewhat manage my sleep. But anyway, I guess we will go ahead and get started. So basically, there's not been a lot of news lately. I mean, one of the top news topics was the fact that Aaron Rodgers came back from his 4-day retreat, and when that's a top news topic, that's
It's the off season.
pretty
Who
quiet week.
cares?
But yeah, exactly. But there are some news topics noteworthy. The Titans cut some players, and so we're gonna kind of talk about if they're what they're doing. Are they rebuilding? Will they trade Henry? Stuff like that.
That's really what we want to talk about.
Exactly. That's the focal point. The
Yeah, the
always
Titans are
exciting.
rebuilding, but look over here. They have Derrick Henry.
Exactly. Yeah. This Netflix series is coming out on Mahomes, Cousins, and Mariota. So just some interesting insights as to guess it'll be exciting. I mean, I don't have a Netflix account. I might create one just for that, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, Eric Bieniemy to the Commanders. We'll talk a little Brady versus Mahomes now that the Super Bowl has kind of subsided and we can be rational for once. But it'll be mostly Q&A, and for now, Q&A is done within our circles. But once we grow, in the future, then we'll probably have a Bing platform, something like that, YouTube comments, something like that, where you can ask questions. But anyway, does that sound good to you, Isaac? Did I miss anything?
Heck yeah, sounds good to me.
Awesome. That sounds great. And yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, if my face glows up like it did just now, that means I'm looking at my notes. So that should be a good thing because I'm taking this seriously. Okay, so the Titans cut Taylor Lewan and Robert Woods. They also cut their kicker, Randy Bullock, which is a franchise changing move, definitely. But
Yeah, that's gonna cost them a lot of wins next season.
exactly, yeah, with all the kicks he makes. But
I mean, for
yeah,
real though, kickers are pretty valuable in the league.
they are. That's true. I think Randy Bullock was on the Texans, and he was all right from what I remember. I think he was on the Texans in 2013 when I started becoming a fan. So he's probably old, but yeah, I don't know, Isaac. What are your thoughts on this? Because you kind of brought this up to me, and I think it's a good idea to bring up as well. Just they're cutting their starting left tackle, which I know it's to save cap space, but that's got to be a big deal.
That's a big move. It's hard to find a starting left tackle. As a Panthers fan,
Yeah.
we went 8 seasons without a good one until we drafted one last season.
Exactly. And I mean, yeah, some teams gonna sign him and just have a solid. I mean, he's 31, but I think for left tackle,
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Not
he's
bad.
got a few ahead of him. And Robert Woods, I don't know, they either just traded for him or just signed him. I don't exactly
Yeah, I
remember.
think they signed him last offseason, didn't they? From the
Yeah,
Rams.
they just acquired him, and then he's just on the streets. So
He
what do you think
didn't have a good season in Tennessee, to be fair. But that's a run
Yeah,
first team, and their quarterback was not exactly
that's
healthy.
true. Yeah, I think playing receiver on the Titans is going to be challenging. But
Yeah,
anyway, Yeah, so like what are your thoughts, Isaac, on like those moves and like do you have any thoughts as to like the direction that the Titans are going? Because like they've been contenders like for a while and then like
Yeah,
suddenly they like 10 game losing, I think it was 7 games or something like that. And it's
right.
just
Well,
they
part
just
part of
seem
the
to
reason
be
they've been contending
vulnerable.
recently is the weak division they're in, and it's still going to be weak over the next few years for the most part. You're going to have probably two rookie quarterbacks for Houston and then Indianapolis, but then you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they are going to be huge favorites in the division next season.
Oh
I think the
yeah.
Titans might be blowing it up.
Yeah, I think they probably have to as well. If, I'm guessing that like both CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are going to be in the AFC South. Just depends on who goes where. I mean, it could be Anthony Richardson, but
Will
like
Levis.
Will Levis to the Colts. That's what I like to hear. But yeah, so there's a chance, like if these rookies like, and they may bust, but they like, do well in like their respective systems, and like Ryan Tannehill could suddenly be the fourth best quarterback in this division. He could be the fifth if Malik Willis like passes him, and like, what
True,
is
true.
that like? It's just like kind of crazy, like, because like the Titans were in the AFC Championship like 3-4 years ago, and like,
That's
just
so hard
crazy
to
how
believe. It's so
exactly,
hard to
just
believe.
crazy how like Derrick Henry just like carried them, and like
Man is a
he's still a
beast.
running back, but yeah. So we did have some questions, like, I mean, are the Titans rebuilding? They probably are. I mean, they probably tell you they're reloading, but like,
Well, it's a little strange. Mike Vrabel, they've got a great head coach there, and I don't know, are they really going to rebuild with him? I don't think he'd be happy with that, honestly, unless he
do you
knows
think
he's got several seasons to rebuild. So
do you
maybe
think
more of
Mike?
a retooling job.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think Mike Vrabel could be on the hot seat a year from now?
Depends on how bad the season is next season. If they go like 3-14, then definitely he'd be on the hot seat
Oh
going
yeah,
into the following season. But I mean,
yeah,
he's been so good for them. It'd be crazy if he's just all of a sudden on the hot seat. Everything would have to
right.
go wrong for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a really good coach. I would agree with that. Yes, he's a defensive coach on an off in an offensive league, but he's still just like really good, just like schematically and just like with how he motivates players and stuff like that. But I would say if they have a repeat of last year, not necessarily even like the losing streak, but just going like
Seven
I
and
think it was
10.
7-10, right? 7-10, missing the playoffs. I think if that happens again, then he's not getting fired necessarily, but he's on the hot seat for sure. And
That's when
I think
questions are
he,
going to start coming up.
yeah, I will say this: I don't think Mike Vrabel's the Titans coach in 5 years. I don't think that. I feel strongly about
I
that.
think he's
I
still
don't even.
going to be a coach in 5 years, but I think you're
Oh yeah,
probably
he's gonna
right.
be like Frank
He's
Reich. He
yeah,
got
Frank Reich
fired
again.
immediately. Doug Peterson got fired, but got. I mean, he will be a head coach, maybe. Well, I hope he's not for the Texans. I hope D'Amico works out, but
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
you never know. Maybe D'Amico will be our Mike Vrabel. Like if that happened, I'd be pretty happy.
yeah. That's a
But
win. That's a win.
that is a win, yeah. And what do you think of trading Derrick Henry?
I think there's a good chance he gets traded. He's in the last year of his contract, so if the Titans don't believe they're contending next season or the following season, it makes logical sense to just trade him, save more money, get a good draft pick for him while you can. Because you're not trading him after next season. His contract is up, so trade him while you
Yeah,
can, get what you can, move on.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I would probably agree with that. Like, thing is, he's still so freaking good, and he probably will be so freaking good next season. But like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna extend him, then like that just can't bode well. Like, I mean, I don't know, like 3 year contract. Like, what if he signs like a 3 year contract and like he's only good for 1 year, then just implodes? Then like just have like all this like
yeah.
dead
That
cap.
trade value goes down a lot.
Exactly, exactly. So you might as well like trade him like I don't know if he goes for one, but I mean he could, I guess, possibly, or like 2 twos or something like that. And like, yeah, suddenly you're talking about like, is he worth a 6 round pick? Like, I don't know, but like, yeah, I mean, it's just
I
like,
mean, Amari
and
Cooper went for a 6 round pick, so we've seen crazy things like that
exactly.
happen.
Yeah, and like I mean,
Not to
you're probably
compare the two
thinking like,
players, but
yeah, you're probably thinking like, what, Derrick Henry for a 6? That's insane.
yeah,
But
that's
like,
ridiculous, right?
running backs have a very short shelf life, so like, I don't know. I haven't really put much thought into this. Maybe you have, but like, if Derrick Henry's to be traded, do you have any like candidates in mind?
Uh, Not particularly. I haven't thought about it a lot. I feel
Yeah,
like a team like Atlanta, maybe. I hate to say that because I hate my division rivals, but I feel like a team
yeah,
like Atlanta would be ideal. They like to run a lot, and they have Arthur Smith as their head coach. He was the Titans' offensive coordinator not so long ago.
yeah, right. I don't know. I think it's tricky because he's not going to be like the one man show like he was previously. Like when you talk about like quarterbacks getting traded, like Lamar Jackson's a hot topic, for example. Like he's going to get traded to a team who like needs a quarterback and like has a hole they can fill and like they have players around him.
Yeah.
Whereas Derrick Henry, he'd probably be more of a complementary piece. Now, like for example, and like I'm pretty sure this is not happening. They probably don't have like the money for it, but like Derrick Henry to the 49ers teaming up with CMC, like imagine that. Like I doubt it would happen just because I think they're investing so much money into CMC, but like I feel like what they do is trade him to a team where he can pair up with someone like a bit like younger than him. Maybe for example, like
Atlanta.
the the Jets maybe, and like pair him up with Brees Hall or like even like I don't know if the Cowboys if they move off Ezekiel Elliott, just basically replace Zeke. I
Oh,
don't know.
you could totally see Jerry Jones going after Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
That sounds
so he
right.
would. Yeah, because like I feel like almost like just with running backs, it's like I feel like almost like any team who has the cap space for it, it would make sense for them. Like so it's kind of tricky. I mean, okay, they're not going to trade into the Texans. Like they're not going to trade into a division rival.
Right. I would say any team that doesn't believe they're really contending, it doesn't make a ton of sense to trade for a
That's
guy like
also
Derrick
true.
Henry. You're not
Yeah.
going to have him around long term. You've got 1, 2 seasons
No.
maybe. But you get
Yeah,
one
like
season guaranteed, and maybe he walks the following season.
yeah, that is a good point. I probably should have said that. I like a contending team, or like a team that thinks they like
Buffalo.
even like the Steelers, like Najee Harris, just pair him up.
Oh,
Just like
that could be an interesting fit.
that could be interesting. Yeah, and we do have an avid Steelers fan in our circles, right? So
Yeah.
Henry to the Steelers, just food for thought. But anyway, I think that was that. I
I would
think
also add, I think Ryan Tannehill could be a cut candidate at some point. I think they save money in some way if they cut him after a certain date. I don't remember when, but I would not be surprised if they cut him at some point.
yeah, I think Ryan Tannehill. I think he was underrated like a couple years ago when like he just came from Miami and like people were saying that like Derrick Henry carried the team, which is true. But I also think that Ryan Tannehill was really good like for a couple years.
And
But
I
I
think
think
now he was overrated for a season in Tennessee.
yeah, I'd say he's like overrated now, and like he could probably be a productive starter for like a year or two, like especially if he's on a very good team. But like in a year or two, I'd say he's probably trending more to be like an Andy Dalton, to where like you could start him if there's an injury or a quarterback struggling or something, but he's just a backup basically. And
Yeah.
like I think they just I would probably agree. They just see what they have in Malik Willis and like maybe they really like him and move forward with him. But if
Worst
not,
case scenario, they lose out and they get Caleb Williams the following season. Following draft, I should say.
That would be fun. That would be fun indeed.
Have all these young quarterbacks. Imagine the AFC South with Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and then Caleb Williams. That's stacked. Potentially stacked, I should say.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, if we could win divisions out of that would be awesome. I mean,
that'd be sick.
We won divisions with like Andrew Luck in them, so like you never know.
Andrew Luck was running for his life in Indianapolis, to be fair.
That's true. Yeah, and like honestly, you could like I mean, he obviously retired because of the accumulation of hits, but like who sacked him the most in his career?
I'm gonna guess J.J. Watt.
Yeah,
nice.
He was by far. I mean, they played the most times, which makes sense. He was the most consistent pass rusher that he faced, probably. But yeah, so like in a way, I was actually thinking about that. Not to go off topic too much, but like you could say in a way. Now, I wouldn't like say this actually, but you could argue that J.J. Watt kind of ended Andrew Luck's career. Kind of. He also effectively ended Alex Smith's career because when he got hurt, he was playing against the Texans. It was J.J. Watt, some other defender who like tackled him and just like shattered his leg and like
yeah.
But like I mean, not that something to be like proud of, really, but I mean, it's kind of like it's interesting. Yeah.
It's just a fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact, definitely. Not for those quarterbacks, but also it's like football's violent anyway. Like, so like, yeah, it's very violent. So
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, in other news, unless there's anything more you want to talk about with the Titans, but I think we covered like a lot of it, just that
Yeah. I don't think there's much more to add.
yeah,
Got to feel bad for guys like Treylon Burks.
right. That's true. Yeah, and like especially with that AJ Brown trade having happened, like who knows how
He
much
was
Derrick
smart to get out of there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Titans like didn't AJ Brown like burn the Eagles? No, they he burned the Titans and then they fired the GM like the next day or something like that. Like yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't trade away your star receiver. Ever think of that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you want nice things, you have to afford them. You got to be willing to pay up.
Wonder if Bill O'Brien would ever trade away like a star receiver. Like I feel like he'd be too smart, especially if he has a young quarterback and they're just like developing chemistry. Like
no, he would never do that. Nobody would be dumb enough.
I mean, and if you are gonna trade your star receiver, you get like at least a first round pick for him, right?
Maybe a second rounder. Second rounder might be it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as long as you add like an old washed up running back with it.
There you go. Now that is a good offer.
Okay. So yeah, moving on in other news, I mean, I wrote this down, but like Aaron Rodgers emerges from the dark. Like, yeah.
Cool.
Any thoughts on that?
Good for you, buddy.
Topic.
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And in case anyone missed our takes on Aaron Rodgers from last episode, you believe he's going to the Jets, and I believe he's staying in Green Bay.
I'll stick with that, I guess.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same as well. I mean, it always seems like he's going to go to another team, but I've always just believed that like he's just going to stay in Green Bay and retire a Packer. But
this time it sounds like they don't want him back.
Yeah, that's true. But like, who knows? I also feel like in the past, like Aaron Rodgers has been adamant about like wanting out of Green Bay, and then he just like, I feel like in a weird way, he's just in like his own comfort zone, like which makes sense if you've lived in Green Bay all your life, and like maybe he just doesn't want to like change teams or whatnot. But
I mean, that's understandable.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers, he goes to the Jets or the Titans or something like that. Like I'm here for it. Just for
Aaron Rodgers in the Titans uniform. That does not look right. No, absolutely not. I can see him in New York green. I can't see him in the Titans.
I feel like, I feel like if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I consider going to the Titans, you have to re-sign Henry. Like that's like one focal points of like that offer. I know we were just talking about the fact that you should trade him, but like
you could try to trade him and get a receiver in exchange because it's not like Tennessee has any receivers aside from Treylon Burks.
True.
And again, they just got rid of Robert Woods, so
that's true. Yeah.
Speaking of which, where do you think these players they cut are going to go?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, we speculated about Derrick Henry. We didn't even talk about the guys who actually got cut.
Lewan, Robert Woods. I mean, Robert Woods, like for all we know, he could be on the Texans. Like
Panthers players are recruiting him. I know our punter was recruiting him. Someone else was too.
The Rams, right?
I don't think so. Somebody who plays for the Rams.
I think Cooper Kupp was like trying to recruit him on Twitter.
Try to bring him back.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be weird because they've already got Kupp and they have enough receivers over there. Like I mean, Woods wouldn't be an upgrade over someone like Allen Robinson, I don't think, based on last season.
Yeah, as I feel like Woods. I think we said with Henry, you probably want to put him on a contender. I feel like Woods, if he got enough money, would play anywhere. Like I could actually see him going to Houston. Like now, will that happen?
Team up with Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
They played together once, didn't they? I think they played together for the Rams in 2018.
They're probably on the Rams together. Yeah, that's probably
right. The Rams once had Woods, Cooks, and Kupp.
So crazy how like they had all these stacked receivers.
That is crazy.
Allen Robinson. Well, I guess he kind of washed out because like, but anyway. Yeah. So I feel like Robert Woods could go like almost anywhere. You know, he's probably not going back to Tennessee, but like besides that, like, you know. I feel like what actually would happen, like if a player gets cut like that, they very well might just go to a division rival, so he could go to the Colts and then like
just out of spite
about like the Titans and like he's probably going to the Jags. Honestly, it's like Jags like have all these receivers, so like why not another? I mean,
Well,
Christian Kirk,
they have Christian Kirk and then Zay Jones this season were both good, and then they get
Evan Ingram, I
uh
think.
no, they traded for Calvin Ridley, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's the other one. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if I'm to make a prediction, I'll say the Colts. I'll just guess the Colts, just with the division rival thing, and like they'd probably pay him a lot of money. He probably would be like a number two receiver, maybe like Michael Pittman and then him.
that sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah, they
Unless
don't
they
have
bring
like
back
the
Paris Campbell.
receivers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like two or three, something like that. Like
That's
he'd
what he
probably
needs to be
yeah.
at this point in his career.
So I'd probably say the Colts.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about where Robert Woods could go?
I think he's more. I think he would try to go to a top tier contender if possible. I think
Yeah.
he'd be fine. Like at this stage in his career, I think he'd be perfectly happy to be like a third or fourth string wide receiver and just to get a ring. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah. Take a pay cut, just like go to yeah.
go to the Chiefs. Maybe. I mean, they're losing a couple of receivers, aren't they? I know Juju is a
Are
receiver,
they?
a free
Yeah, I
agent.
guess probably, yeah. So I feel like you want to balance it as well if you're Robert Woods. I mean, we're not these professional athletes, so we can't really relate, but like, do you want to risk like literally like never getting targeted, just like maybe get a ring? Like, I feel like you do have to like balance it somewhat. Like, yes, it's probably better to go on a contending team, but like you might rather like
You want to have a balance of both. You want some playing time, but you also want to go somewhere where you have a good shot to get a ring. That's
yeah,
how I
because
see
like
it.
really, if players just thought in terms of going to contenders, then like no one would go to the Texans. No one would go to like, just like other bad teams,
Yeah, it's all
just
about what
like
you're looking for. If you're looking for money, if you're looking for playing time, just depends on the situation you're currently in.
yeah, and like I mean, or like, just like stats and stuff like that. Yeah. It's all interesting. Sorry, I guess do you like I don't know if you gave a prediction or not, or
I think
you kind of
I left vaguely with top tier contender. Yeah, that narrows it
okay,
down, right?
yeah, that's good
I
enough.
think I suggested the Chiefs. Another random spot for him could be San Francisco. They love collecting talented players, you know.
It's true.
He could be a good
Yeah,
number
that's
three
true.
receiver.
Speaking of which, 'cause I didn't really think about Taylor Lewan at all, but like, what if the Chiefs lose Orlando Brown and
And
just
get
sign
Taylor
Taylor?
Lewan.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, get him cheap too. That
true.
would be smart.
That might.
The NFL
I
should
mean,
not allow that to happen.
yeah, and like in a vacuum, Orlando Brown's probably better than Taylor Lewan. Just like he's younger and probably just
Yeah,
better. But like if Orlando Brown's demanding too much money, then like just like if that works out somehow, like that would be like pretty cool.
yeah. I
But
mean, how much of an upgrade is he over Taylor Lewan anyway? I have no idea.
I'm not an expert on like
I can't
defensive
watch an
tackles,
offensive
but
tackle play and tell you how good they are.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, same here. I mean, it's just like I always felt like Taylor Lewan was just a very solid left tackle in
Yeah,
Tennessee, but like apparently they just needed to free up the cap space. And I mean, I guess if you have to do it one way or another, then like, I guess someone had to go, but like, yeah. All right. I mean, do you have any thoughts on Taylor Lewan, like where he goes?
oh no, I have no idea. I don't even know which teams need a left tackle. I know for sure he's not coming to Carolina. We've got a left tackle. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's probably not coming to Houston. I mean, who knows?
You have a left tackle, don't you?
Yeah, but like Laramie Tunsil, I mean, he might want out, but I'm not sure. If we keep Laramie Tunsil, that would be awesome, honestly, because like
I mean, yeah.
build around our young rookie quarterback. But
Well,
all right.
how young is he now? A Tunsil.
Oh, Tunsil, I think he's like 30.
Oh, maybe
So I
time
would
to trade
say
him.
young is like our young quarterback, like not necessarily like young left tackle. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
he's not
My
old,
Madden
but
manager brain says to trade him while you can.
yeah, I would probably say. I mean, if we can still like get a one for him, like a late one or something, I'd probably just do
I'd
that.
be impressed.
Yeah, in Madden you can definitely do that, but I don't know about real life. But
You mean there's a difference?
anyway, yeah. So moving on, Netflix put out this series, or they announced this series. So basically, they're going to do like this, I guess, like POV of like the life of a quarterback, and they chose 3 quarterbacks. I mean, I assume it was mutual. I assume the quarterbacks had to agree to it as well.
I would hope so.
Yeah, they probably paid him a good amount of money, just like how advertising deals, like they probably compensated very well. So like,
oh, definitely.
yeah, so there's apparently going to be a documentary series on Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. So what are your thoughts on that, on those 3 selections?
I think the inclusion of Marcus Mariota is super random when you look at Patrick Mahomes, and then Kirk Cousins is at least understandable. He had a good season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm pretty interested in it. I don't know if I'll watch, but I'll definitely read about it and see if it's worth watching.
Yeah. If it's like actually good, then like I was saying before we recorded, I think like I don't even have Netflix, so I might sign up for Netflix for like a month if it's actually good. I feel like sometimes stuff that like disappoints. Like apparently there's this like Tom Brady movie that's coming out or came out. I just think it's kind of bad. Like I just watched the trailer and it's just
it looks really dumb. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's not because it's not because like the ladies necessarily or anything like that. It's just like if I'm gonna watch a movie about Tom Brady, I want like something about like apparently there was a Kurt Warner movie that was pretty good. I haven't watched it, but I don't know. I think sometimes stuff like that disappoints. But what I would say, I saw some comments like, "Oh, it should have been like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, the 3 best quarterbacks," and I'm like, just because they're the best quarterbacks doesn't necessarily mean it's the most exciting documentary series. Like you'd argue that like as good as Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are, maybe Joe Burrow's like say Justin Herbert. Isn't Justin Herbert just kind of boring? And like it's not.
He seems very chill and laid back. He doesn't come off as someone
like
you'd want to.
Chill, laid back. Like I feel like even Joe Burrow, if he was like in a documentary, would probably be like similar. Jalen Hurts, like
he'd have lots of super confident remarks, I'm sure.
Yeah,
which would be entertaining.
My quarterback's boring, but he's very, very good. That doesn't matter at all, It's just like, and they're likable guys. Like for a documentary series, I like Mahomes, especially since he won the Super Bowl and he's just like the best quarterback of this generation.
Yeah, I'm a Mahomes fan. I will say that now. Been a fan of him since college.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if his family, is in it as well. How that plays into it.
They should definitely have his family involved in some way just to make it go viral on the internet. People love to hate on some of his family.
Maybe there will be some like just like
Jackson Mahomes just filming a TikTok in the background.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be some like ball, like an 1800s ball where people like go together to socialize and dance, and there are gonna be some TikTok dances like incorporated. But yeah, so I think Mahomes is good. Kirk Cousins is like as a player, he's interesting, but as like a personality, he's also pretty interesting. So I like that. I agree. Marcus Mariota is probably a little bit random, but I do also like the idea of just having like.
We can see it from his perspective because he didn't finish the season as a starter. You can see how that is for somebody.
Yeah, I think like yeah, definitely. I would say Marcus is. I think he's also kind of a boring personality. Like. It's not like you could choose anyone, but like if we were to have like a backup or struggling to be a starter, like wouldn't a Gardner Minshew documentary?
Oh yes. Yeah. Everybody would watch that.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to think of like other backups or struggling starters who have like intriguing personalities.
Baker Mayfield, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they asked him to do it. He probably like I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I don't know, but that would be interesting. Yeah, but no, maybe just like some thoughts. I guess like it's probably the type of thing that like people are like excited or intrigued about now. We're gonna forget about, and then like in August or whatever it is, it'll just come out, and then it's just like gonna be super disappointing. But hopefully it's not. So
is that when it comes out? August?
I think. And maybe it's May. It's like summertime.
May would be better. Sooner the better for the off season.
True.
That would be great. Don't release it right before the season starts. That's not a great idea.
Yeah, that's true. Indeed. So
yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by it. I'll have to see how it looks.
Yeah, what I'll probably just look at like YouTube like highlights if there are any, and like if it seems like a good series, I might just. Maybe by then already I will like decide to like buy Netflix, although like I'm not sure about Netflix even just in general, but like I might sign up for like to just like watch that.
Yeah, there you
Or
go.
maybe do some password sharing, some very ethical, honest password sharing with like a friend or something like that. Yeah, definitely never been done by anyone. So in other news, Eric Bieniemy to the Commanders. What do you think about that? It's like a downgrade as far as like just like receivers and I mean just like offense and stuff like that goes. But he also kind of gets to prove himself, right?
Yeah, for Eric Bieniemy, I think that's a good move. I don't know about going to Washington of all places, but maybe that's just the only place left for him at that point in the coaching cycle. But I think it's about time for him to just step out of Andy Reid's shadow, go prove himself as a play caller because he never called plays in Kansas City.
Yeah, and I feel like
I should say I do go on record. He should have had a head coaching job by now. Like,
it's very, very interesting that he doesn't. I want to say he's interviewed for like 17 positions and didn't get one, or something like that. He interviewed for the Texans, and like, I would be surprised if we didn't like give him. I feel because I would have thought he would have said no to us, but I feel like we offered it to him. Or no, sorry, other way. I feel like we didn't offer it to him, which is like interesting. But I feel the same way. I mean, like, I feel like you could go either way. If you're Eric Bieniemy, like, if you just want to like stay in Kansas City, like win one or two more rings and just like just do that, that's probably fine.
Wait for Andy Reid to retire and then take over Kansas City.
Yeah, because there is a risk associated that like that the Commander's job just doesn't go well. Because like, remember, Byron Leftwich, I think, was the Bucs offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah,
he was going to be the head coach in Jacksonville, but he decided to stay in Tampa, and that was a disaster. And so now he's like struggling.
He was going to be a head coach in Jacksonville.
I think so. I think it was Jacksonville.
Well, they dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
And like, yeah, he struggled.
That's the same coaching cycle where they got Doug Peterson, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah, right. That's correct. I think I have those facts correct. But anyway, so there's a risk associated. Like if the Commanders just offense is just a tire fire, then like he could struggle to like maybe he won't struggle to get a coordinating job, but like he may just a head coaching job, like aspirations may just be a thing of the past. So like there's a risk associated, and like
there's also some potential upside after just one season because they should be getting a new owner soon, and new owner that might change who the coach is going to be.
Right.
Ron Rivera might be gone the following season, and you could see them want to promote from within.
Maybe there's that sort of succession plan. So you never know. I think the Commanders just need a quarterback. Like they have a pretty good receiving core. They have a sweet defense. They do.
They got some good running backs too.
Yeah, that's true. They have like multiple good running backs. Like I just think like Sam Howell. Like they're saying that Sam Howell's the franchise quarterback. Like
yeah, but dude, he's a 6th round pick. You can only expect so much.
Yeah, I think it was 5th, but like either way, it's like I think it was 5th, but
we got a fact check now. It matters.
Yeah. Are you doing that, or do you want me to do that?
You got to do it. It'll mess up my layout if I do it.
Sam Howell. Let's see. He was a 5th round pick.
Dang it.
Pick 144. So, yeah.
I'm getting rusty.
Should get fired.
I should.
This will be my now. But no, anyway. But, yeah. So, no, all that to say, like, 5th round quarterbacks are backups. Like,
yeah, the point remains the same.
Yeah, exactly. What I would probably do if I'm the Commanders, because like I think, and this is according to Madden of all places, I think they picked 16th. I'm just saying that because I like played around with them on Madden a little bit. Let me fact check that as well using good old Tankathon. Yes, if they have the 16th overall pick, I'd say if like Will Levis falls to them, like they could just draft him there. So they could draft Will Levis. They could sign like Jimmy G, Jacoby Brissett, something like that. And like Sam Howell, if he is really that good, he should just beat him out in competition. That's just what I would say.
I mean,
like,
fair.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Eric Bieniemy, like I'm not sure about Sam Howell. I mean, I haven't like seen him play, so like I can't really judge based. I'm just like
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know that I would draft anyone not named Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud if I'm Washington. Just,
Yeah, so
I
you
don't
think
want to. I
you
don't want a project quarterback plus Sam Howell.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, you could make an argument for that. Like, yeah,
I
I
mean,
was gonna
give
say
Howell a chance. Sign a veteran like Brissett, and then if it doesn't work, draft a quarterback next offseason.
it's true. Caleb Williams. But yeah,
Caleb
yeah, yeah.
Williams. No,
You're right.
we said he's going to Tennessee.
You said that.
Okay, fine. I said that.
Yeah, I mean, like, who knows? He apparently wants to go to Miami. Like,
Yeah, I thought
I
that was
think
interesting.
quarterbacks would want to go to Miami. He's gonna be probably not a Houston Texan, but he's gonna be like a Chicago Bear or something like that. It's like something like a I don't know. He could be like who knows, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll see who's terrible next season.
So overall, yeah, very interesting just story with like Eric Bieniemy. I think at first it was shocking that like he would just like do a lateral move like to like a worse team, but like the more you think about it, the more it makes sense on his perspective. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a smart business move for him.
he's been under Andy Reid's shadow, and like that is a good offense. I mean, like I think their O line just needs help, and their quarterback position's questionable, but like they get the quarterback right. They have some sweet receivers. They just like there's a lot of potential there for sure. And
For
like
sure, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that defense is very good. So, if that like defense does its job, then that could be good. But yeah. Anyway, I guess those were the main like news topics, I think, unless I'm forgetting anything. Oh yeah. So what I think we'll do is we will transition to Q&A, but there were a few questions about if Mahomes could surpass Brady as the GOAT. So we'll kind of have a segment on that. And then we will move on to Q&A. But
Okay.
I don't know, Isaac.
So
What do you
could
think
Patrick Mahomes surpass Tom Brady for GOAT status? Yes, I think he could. I won't be as bold as to say he would, or will, I should say. But he definitely could. If anyone in today's league is going to do it, it'll be him.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I'd probably say that. I mean, yeah, I think clearly Mahomes is like, this generation's Brady. I guess it's possible for like Josh Allen to win 3 rings in a row, then suddenly he's the GOAT. I mean, that's always possible, but very, very unlikely. Like you see, like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert have yet to win a ring, so it's just very hard to like go there and win. But I would say my stance. Now, I'm not really going to predict like because I think if it comes down to it, it's going to be kind of like I'm no basketball guy, but it's going to be kind of like a Michael Jordan LeBron debate where it's like you could have
different eras, right?
Yeah, it's just different eras, different like styles of play or whatever. But like what I would say, and who knows, in 20 years my opinion could change, but what I would say is if Mahomes, I would say he needs to win 4 rings and surpass a lot of Brady's records, like passing yards, passing touchdowns, like wins, stuff like that. Like
okay. What if he doesn't break those records, but he equals Brady in Super Bowl rings? What then?
Yeah, if he's able to equal Brady in Super Bowl rings, Mahomes is the GOAT.
Regardless of the stats?
Yes, unless it's like if he like legitimately wins all those Super Bowls, like leads the Chiefs to the playoffs all those seasons, like unless it's something like he gets like a catastrophic injury and then he's a backup and just goes to Super Bowls that way. If he legitimately leads the Chiefs to all those Super Bowls but doesn't like break those records, now I don't see how you would do all that, like play that long if you don't break the records. But anyway, if he does do all that, like yes, if Mahomes gets to wins 7 Super Bowls, he's the GOAT. And I say that because this AFC, from what we like depict, is much harder than Brady's AFC. Because Brady just had to stave off Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, sometimes Rivers.
Only Peyton Manning and Big Ben, like no big deal.
Yeah, Philip Rivers. I guess at the end he had like second year Mahomes.
Those are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Mahomes, he would have to stave off He would have to stave off Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson for a few years, Not to mention, if Caleb Williams happens to be in the AFC, which for all we know is 50-50, just a lot of there are just a lot of quarterbacks he'd have to stave off. So I think that he doesn't have to match Brady's 7, but I would say he needs to win 4 rings at least to be in the conversation. Because if he only wins 3, then you have Joe Montana ahead of you. I think technically Terry Bradshaw, but he's kind of just, we don't consider him one of the GOATs, but anyway, I think he needs to win 4, shatter some records. But you did pose a great question. If he wins 7, then he's the GOAT, I would say.
Sweet.
Mahomes.
All right. And how likely do you think it is that he wins 7?
Almost 0. He wins 7, almost 0. Just because, stacked AFC, stacked.
He's been to the AFC Championship every season that he started for the Chiefs. So there's that.
Yeah, he only has 2 rings to show for it. I think also just, the longevity, it's...
A good point. He only has 2 rings, and twice that's because Brady interfered. Which is probably a point that would come up in the future if these debates, actually matter someday.
That's true. Yeah,
Brady literally beat him head-to-head for one of those rings.
That's true. I guess time will tell. Brady's apparently retired, now, so there's going to be none of him. I gotta imagine that, maybe it's not really, but you gotta imagine that Super Bowl loss to the Bucs was a bit devastating. Losing the Super Bowl is always devastating, but just for legacy reasons, you probably thought that you could bridge the gap between you and Brady, and then he just beats you when he changed teams in the Super Bowl. That has to be extra devastating.
If we flip that result, Brady has 6 rings and Mahomes has 3.
He only needs 3 more.
That's kind of a wild way to think of it.
It actually is. Yeah, that's actually... who knows? It'll be fascinating. I would say, yeah, it'll just be interesting. Because, again, Mahomes is the only of those, AFC quarterbacks to... who else in the AFC has a ring? Russell Wilson does. That's kind of random. What other quarterbacks in the AFC have a ring? Actually, Russell Wilson.
Do any of them have a ring? As a starter, do you mean? Or do backups count?
Yeah, as a starter, yeah.
Yeah. Not that I could think of any backups.
You'd probably pick some backups that, yeah. Because, it was Brady for a while. Peyton Manning retired, obviously. Joe Flacco's not a starter anymore. Because really, it's just been Mahomes in the AFC.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any others. If we're missing any, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. And just as a fun fact, Mahomes and one other quarterback have multiple Super Bowl rings, or active quarterbacks who have Super Bowl rings, who have multiple Super Bowl rings. Do you know who the other quarterback is?
Is it Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Jimmy has more rings than Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. So
of all the names, Jimmy Garoppolo is ahead of them.
Exactly.
Of course.
And I was thinking now Jimmy's never going to be in the Hall of Fame discussion, but I was thinking if he had won that Super Bowl against Mahomes in 2019 and he got 3 rings, do you make an argument that if he plays well, Jimmy G has the gold jacket in Canton? Probably not, but it would be.
I could see that, if he wins that Super Bowl, but
yeah, I think ultimately to be in the Hall of Fame, to be considered for it, you have to count the rings that you actually won. The fact that you won 3 rings, just
the backup winning a ring is a little bit different.
Exactly.
Not to take away from your accomplishment backups.
Carson Wentz has a ring, for what it's worth.
Why? Okay.
Oh yeah. Nick Foles has a ring. Well, he's not a starter. He did start some games from the Colts.
Where is he now?
He's on the Colts, I think. Unless he's a pending.
Is he still? That's right. He was in Indy last season. That's right. Okay.
I think he played a couple of games, because it was him, Matt Ryan, and then Sam Ehlinger. Matt Ryan got benched for Sam Ehlinger when
he was supposedly out for the season And then
Right.
Ellinger, did he get hurt or I don't
Talk
know.
about Ellinger? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't know.
You know,
The
I
Colts
think we
were
were all
weird last
distracted.
season.
I think we were all distracted by the Jeff Saturday
Oh yeah,
facade.
nothing else mattered at that point.
Exactly. Right. So that's our little discussion on Brady versus Mahomes. Just like just a lot of food for thought. I mean, not that we have like strong opinions one way or the other, but just kind of good to think about
Just
some
for fun.
possible.
This is football for fun. So
Yeah, and
why
I
not?
think you made a very good point that that Mahomes beats Brady in that Super Bowl. It's only 6-3, and Mahomes only needs 3 more. So you never
That's
know.
kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Like we're that close. Well, I guess that was
Exactly.
a blowout though.
Right.
Eh.
That's true. I mean, it's true. I mean, just different game plan. I mean, you never
Yeah.
know, but
You never know. You never know.
awesome. All right. Well, we will transition to Q&A. Just like answer some questions. So yeah, they're just questions from our inner circles. And what I'll probably do is we'll start with like questions that are like quicker and like easier to answer. Just like knock those off, and then we'll get to some of the deeper questions. We have 20 questions. I'm not sure if we'll get to all of them. I mean, we might if you're up for it, but that's that. So
Let's see.
anyway, uh, so question. Sorry, did you say something, Isaac?
Nothing important. Go ahead. I just said
Okay,
let's see.
awesome. Let me just okay, just so here's an example of a quick question. Will Bill Belichick draft an O-line in the first round?
Wait for my mock draft coming next week.
Okay, awesome. And that will probably also be answered with the let me do something real quick. There we go. Right, I did the strike through on Google Drive. Shift Command X. I remembered that. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. He totally could. He totally doesn't have to. I mean, I don't know. And we'll probably have to wait for your response to this question as well. Will Jordan Addison, and Kenny Pickett be reunited?
You'll have to
We'll
wait for
wait
my
for
mock draft. Yep. Yo, thank you so much for watching that video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. We have another video coming out sometime next week for the Q&A part of that podcast episode. And also, as I said at the end of that video you just watched, there will be a mock draft coming soon. It will be sometime this week. It'll be mostly me on my own. Daniel will help a little bit. So stay tuned for that. Again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you all in the next video.